Waco. I am your host, Debbie, here to help you get in the know about Waco. This week, I'm going to be talking about an event happening here in Waco, and I have a special guest in the studio. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Ines Alvidres from Chihuahua, Mexico. I live in Bowman at the moment, but I'm very honored and grateful to be right now with you here in Waco because we have a good reason to be here. We're here to share not just what I do, but what I loved.
Yes.
And that is creating art.
Oh, yes. And what brought you to Waco?
You know, it was just visiting friends a year ago and just visiting them, going out and enjoying what Waco is. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you right now, I'm obsessed with
You're
Waco.
Obsessed with Waco?
Yes,
That's great.
In the most beautiful way. And that brought me to just be around the culture. I think the first night that I spent here was comedy night.
Yes.
Or open mic. And
over at Classy.
Yeah, before it was Classy.
Well, stay classy. Now used to be Classy Class. Shout out Katie and Jacob.
They are part of the reason I come because they're so much fun to hang out with. But yeah, that was one of the first nights that really something special happened. And I was hoping to come back. And I did. I got an invitation from the Mayborn Museum to do a collaboration with Eric. And Eric and I have become good friends for a few years now.
Eric Linares, shout out.
Yes. He's big time the reason I'm here with you speaking to. But yeah, so it started with me coming to explore the area. And my advice to anyone that is a creative, just go and be happy. Find things that you love to do. Yeah. In my case, is eating and drinking and a good live show.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And before I knew, I was given the opportunity. And I'm so grateful to be here. The show is going to be until November 5th.
Yeah.
And I just cannot tell you more. I mean, I will tell you more in a little bit. But that's my advice.
Yeah.
Wherever you go, just do what you love. Find the people that have the same passion and the same goodness for express who they really are.
Yeah, I feel that.
I was just talking to Brianne and I said, Brianne, I just like to have a good, real human conversation with people.
Brianne is amazing.
That's it. That's all I want to do. And that's what happened between the Mayborn and I. We just met each other. We met in person. We got to know each other. And I cannot say more things about them because they're so great.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about your collection at the Mayborn.
It was a collaboration with Dia de los Muertos with Eric. And I know it's a big celebration coming up the end of the month.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to that as well. But for me, it was, Ines, just bring what you do. And I'm like, well, the collection... and it will happen hopefully in the next year or a couple years coming up where I can just bring a special collection just for Dia de los Muertos.
That'd be so cool.
But in this time was even more special for me because I have to put things together from 2015 to the week before the show.
Yeah, wow.
So I have this series, and please, if you have the chance, go see it because you're going to see that it's from the same artist, but you will see how the artist, it was an evolution of discovering materials and discovering who I am right now.
Yeah, and what's the title of your collection?
Well, we went with the name of my studio as well, which is almost like Amarte. Amarte means to love yourself, to love someone, but when you separate the word ama, is love. The rest of the word is arte, which means art.
Love art. Oh,
so it is the love art, but also is to love yourself first.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the name of the show, and I love that is the name. It's also the name of my studio.
That's so cool.
And it's because it's Ines from the beginning, and a couple of the pieces that I was able to bring from 2015 are some pieces that I cannot get rid of.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like I cannot
Like, get rid of you cannot get rid of
yes,
them.
yes.
Yeah, I got you. I do not want to get rid of them.
Yeah, no, that doesn't sound right. No, those are the pieces that I choose with my heart.
Yeah.
I said,
they're a piece of you.
and somebody said, you make a collection and at least keep one
Mm-hmm.
of the collection. And I'm so grateful that I did.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I get to show you, Waco,
Yay.
those pieces. And when they say bring anything you want, I think that's the best part.
Oh, yay.
Because I said, just to confirm, I said, are you sure?
Are you sure?
And they say, yes. And I said, well, is that the case?
Mm-hmm.
I want to bring some consciousness about recycling.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big part of what I do. So all the paintbrushes that I have in the Mayborn, in one of the cases, is... I'm going to say right now because I put a little note. Guess how many?
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
It's 201.
You know, you're not supposed to tell people. Wait.
No, I'm
okay. You can't tell.
I'm saying
Okay.
it. Yeah, you know what? Yes. The show is almost over.
That's true. We only have another 2 weeks.
But now when you go see it, you're going to be like, there's no way it's 201.
201.
In the little case.
Mm-hmm.
And those I started collecting to tell my students.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't wash your paintbrushes at the end of the class,
They're going to get hard and you can't paint with them.
They're going to die.
Yeah.
So what I did, I placed them in a little, it was like a little bridge between two pieces of wood.
Mm-hmm.
So they were able to stick up. So they were all beautifully displayed.
Yeah.
And I'll tell me, if you don't wash your brushes, they're going to end up in the brush cemetery.
The brush cemetery.
And
so now it's your ofrenda to the brushes.
It is in a way.
There you go.
But so the class, it came to the point where they understood the lessons. I was ready to took them all in my hand and I was ready to put them in the trash.
Mm-hmm.
And I just couldn't do it. They were too pretty.
Yeah.
I can see my fingerprints in the brush while I was holding it.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell how messy of a painter I am.
She had, for those of you who can't see right now, she even had paint on her phone. So
I don't know what. Any
and
artist
everywhere.
is gonna relate.
Every artist can relate. Usually I have paint all the way up my hands. So,
So those brushes are the ones that ended up in the canvas.
Mm-hmm.
And the background has a little bit of yellow, blue, and red, the primary.
Mm-hmm.
Those I actually put in a piece of artwork.
Mm-hmm.
The rest, I just kept, and the teacher is forgetting to wash her own brushes. So I take...
It's a full cycle now.
It is. So yeah, I collected them and I wanted to show how messy they look.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see the painting, you will think the artist is really careful and the line work and the trims. They tell me, Ines, your work looks really detailed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you have no idea what a mess I am. And I think the brushes say some about it.
Yeah.
And the other two that I brought that I wasn't sure about, but they're like, bring whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Is the guitars. They're in the center of the room. One of them was rescue. I'm gonna say rescue from one of the hurricanes.
Oh,
I think it was Harvey.
Wow, in Houston. That hit very hard here in Texas.
It was found in the trash.
Mm-hmm.
I got my hands on it. My dad brought it to me. Like, do you think you can do something with
Oh,
this?
wow.
I'm like, yes, sir. And that's another piece
Yeah.
that I cannot sell because it's so sentimental for me. It's my dad's. But I have two.
Mm-hmm.
And those are where I clean my paintbrush.
Oh, on the guitar.
Yeah. So
That's so
instead
cool.
of, you have your little glass of water or you clean your leftover paint,
Mm-hmm.
I refuse to do that because I mix that color from scratch. And it's a
Yeah.
beautiful color. So I clean my brush and the guitar.
Oh, I love that.
And before you know, you have this beautiful pattern, messiness. So I paint chairs. I paint the trims on my window. I mean, everything is painted.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. And what are the titles of your pieces that you currently have?
For those specific, the paintbrushes are called historias.
Mm-hmm. Stories.
And that's what they told. They told stories.
Mm-hmm.
The guitars are tocame.
Mm-hmm.
And tocame is play me
Mm-hmm.
if you're
To
an instrument. But the guitar has always have a figure and a symbol of a figure of a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So tocame also means feel me
Oh,
or touch me.
Wow.
So it applies for both.
That's so cute.
I'm just really careful when I'm teaching little kids. I just tell them the one with
Yeah.
the instrument.
It's okay. We only have adults listen. This is a family-friendly show, though.
No. And there's one more that is really texture, and it looks nothing like my other work. And those are the peelings of my paint.
Yeah, you told me about that
I
one.
peel off the dry paint, and I save it because I think they're also so beautiful. And I created many of those. Those are titled Until the End, or Hasta el Fin. And I said, I'm going to use you until the end. Like, I'm not
going to just throw you away. Yeah.
No, I can't. So if you go see it, that looks like a cake. It's really textured.
I love that. And what's really like your messages overall that you really want to share through this piece? Or through these pieces?
These pieces, okay. Since the beginning, I remember one of my first interviews with an actual magazine or newspaper was, well, what are you trying to say? And
I feel like that's a question artists get all the time.
but we better have an answer. We better ask ourselves that at some point. So I decided that I was really into abstracts. And then I said, I realized that people either love or hate abstract. You find the two groups. And I said, what if I can make friendly abstract? What if I can make something friendly enough for those that hate abstract, but abstract enough for those that want that
can see it. Yeah.
So I went for that, and I ended up with friendly abstract straight from the heart. And I mean it. Everything that you see in that show, from birds, flowers. There's one piece that is very special to me. It's a big saint, St. Jude. And that piece is called Flame of Hope. Very, very special. So it's not just that I want to... Okay, well, I did say friendly abstract is straight from the heart.
Yes.
I didn't finish what I want to do. And what I want to do as an artist is just to put a smile on your face.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. And I realized that is doable, and I accomplished that at some point looking at somebody I did not know. She's walking through the gallery, and she looked at one of my pieces. And the most beautiful thing happened. I looked at her at the right moment because she looked at the piece, and then her face turned into a big smile.
Oh.
And I don't know who this is. She just moved to Bowman, where I'm coming from. She moved from Louisiana. And I went to introduce myself, and I'm like, if you have any questions, this is my piece of artwork.
Yeah.
She's like, it just made me so happy. And she told me, but if she didn't have to, because I saw her interacting with the painting. So
that's amazing.
That's my goal. And if you can do that with one person, I think,
And what has your reaction been in the Waco area so far?
I think you have to love. This is something that I love to share with people. You can be the most interesting people in the smallest town and have the greatest time, which is not the case. Waco is so bright and alive and young, and everyone that I met has been just themselves. That's all I want. I want people to tell me who they are, and everyone is doing something.
Yeah. Oh, like, definitely here in Waco.
You're a poet, you're a writer, you're a sculptor, and
you're a podcaster.
Yes, it's so good too. And that's what I love. And I've come from a very small town, a smaller town compared to Houston, Bowman, Texas, but I do the same thing. I found the beauty in the people that I meet every day.
Yeah.
And what is it that they do? What is it they're passionate about? So that's what happened here. Yeah. I came, I had good friends to begin with. So you just mentioned 4 of them.
Yeah.
And if you know them, I'm actually going to go later to see Katie and Jacob. But yeah, if you know these people that are happy, that are looking for something that makes them want to wake up every day and do it, that's what Waco did to me.
Oh, wow.
Besides me loving eating.
Well, yeah.
And drinking.
We got plenty of food and drinks. But yeah, and what's something you would like to see more of in Waco?
I just probably need to spend more time myself.
Yeah.
Because that will be a matter of exploring. There's a dear friend of mine, and I'm going to keep quoting him because I love what he said. Someone said that there was nothing to do in Bowman and that it was boring. And he said the only Greg Buscemi, shout out to him because he's
shout out.
Yes, he's so good. and he's done so good for Bowman in the arts. But he said that the only people that are bored is the people that live under a rock. Mm-hmm. So if anybody will dare to say that Waco is, there's nothing to do, or it's because they live under a rock.
Yeah, that's very true.
I don't get enough hours to, every time I come, we go to so many places, enjoy so many things, and we still haven't done
everything.
No, we never do. But slowly and surely, I'm going to get to do more and more.
And your friends keep asking you when you're going to move here, so...
Yeah, they told me, when are you? And I'm like, that's not quite yet in the plan.
Not quite yet.
But I love that. Yeah. I love that people, anytime somebody wants to be around somebody, it's because they make them happy. Yeah. So you want to surround yourself. So anytime they say that, I'm like, when are you moving? And I'm like, okay, well, that's good.
They like me at least.
So, and I like them. So that's mutual.
And what has it been like, especially coming from Mexico and bringing, that culture and everything here? What has it been like?
It is all very surreal. I'm going to be honest with you. The first 2 years, I refused to learn English. And I needed to, but I refused. I'm in high school. I'm 16 years old. And that's the worst thing you can do to a teenager.
Uproot them from what they know. It's a complete culture shock. I can imagine.
Yes. And, but it really, and the reason I say it feels so surreal is because I never thought I was going to be able to speak English. I'm like, why do you even try? It's so hard. My sister was a lot younger. She was only 5 when she moved.
Oh, wow.
So she got it really fast. And so my brothers. For me, I think I was the one that it took the longest. And one of the things that I spoke about just recently to some college students, I'm like, oh, and also I spoke to the Rotary Club in Bowman. And I'm speaking to professionals. And I'm speaking, how in the world are you speaking to these people right now in English?
Yeah.
And not just that. I said, the reason you're speaking is because you paint. So that it was even more surreal.
Yeah.
But I came to the conclusion that painting is universal. And even if I didn't speak English, I was able to communicate with a lot of people without speaking.
And even your pieces,
through my artwork.
Like in Spanish, they still tell such a story, even in in English, and people understand that.
I promise you, if 3 people are in front of a painting, and one is from Japan, you name it, one from Mexico and one from Russia, they hope to create an emotion in them, and I don't speak their language, so that to me that was the biggest challenge, to speak the language, and for me to be able to explain the medium, the materials, and also the emotion that I want to...
Yeah, like actual what you want to portray behind it.
Yes. But besides that, once I got some English under my... I really had to get out of my comfort zone and meet people. And again, once I met the right people in the right places, I was just excited to be here.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, I'm so glad that you've now become a part of our community.
Oh, I love it.
And through this journey, is there anything you would like to say, especially about bringing culture and bringing your roots to our community? Is there anything else you want to talk about that about?
I do, from the previous question, there's something that I keep reminding myself, is that I was missing home terribly for a long time. But it was before I found what my true passion was.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then when I found what I really love to do, I was no longer homesick.
Aww.
I realized that it doesn't matter where I go. If I do what I do and what I love to do, I'm always going to be home.
Oh, wow.
I love how powerful.
And that's profound, yeah.
That is really powerful. It was powerful to me because I said, you know that Chihuahua is your hometown, and that's the root of everything I do. If you see the Tarahumara Indians, the beautiful brown skin, perfect black straight hair, those are the root of what I do mainly. the colors, the vibrant colors. But then Bowman became my home because it allowed me and it welcomed me. And if you go to Bowman, which I hope you do one day, you find paintings from a lot of artists all around town.
Yeah.
But I surprised myself because I walked to a place, I'm like, oh, I forgot this was here. Or big murals around town, which slowly but surely they kept growing in the area. And a couple of those are mine.
Yay.
So I find myself surrounded by my own artwork.
Yeah.
So Bowman became home now. Now you guys welcome into Waco the way you guys are doing. It makes me feel very home.
Yeah. And Beaumont's close enough. I mean,
yeah, it is.
We count it. I say Waco and the surrounding areas.
but that's what that's it. I feel home because I'm sharing with you what I love to do.
Yeah.
So if I do a podcast in Japan tomorrow and I'm sharing what I love to do, I probably feel like home too because I'm doing that. So that's something that gave me some sense of peace.
Yeah. And where can we find more information about you? Do you have a website, all your social medias?
Yeah. Well, I'm on Instagram, inesalvidres.art, Facebook, Ines Alvidres, and website is amarteartstudio.com.
All right. Awesome. And you said your exhibit will be running through November 5th.
November 4th, actually.
November 4th. Okay. Tell us all about it. How can we get tickets?
Well, it's free.
Okay. Awesome.
This part, I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
But I know they have 1 day a week that is free. And I believe it's Sundays.
I think so. And if you're a student or you're already a Mayborn Museum member, of course you get in for free.
Yes,
So if you're a Baylor student and you have your ID, you get in for free.
I'll tell you a little secret. I came a week before the opening to set up, and we had a great time. Super supportive. So I set up, and then I come the next week to do some last little details, labels. Every painting has a little story under it.
Oh, wow.
But the story I wanted to be understood by a 5-year-old and an adult.
Yeah.
I wanted to a 5-year-old to read it and be like, hey, Grandpa, it says this, and this. And he understands it. So I went to that point where I noticed how many kids.
Mayborn Museum has a lot of kids. It's a children's museum forefront.
Love it. So we went to the second floor.
I love they used to have like a little like tea like room. There's a little tea room.
I play with the little girl.
Yes.
So yes, my boyfriend and I went upstairs and it was a really quiet day. So we have the whole playground
Get to play to yourself. Yeah.
And it wasn't embarrassing because there was no kids around.
In the sound room, there's a giant keyboard. Hello.
You should have seen him. He played it. He was jumping back and forth.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that we got to, in my case, it was not just about displaying the artwork, but it was also to go upstairs and play. Like I can tell you, I experienced the museum to the fullest.
Yeah.
They also have the dinosaur experience.
Yes, a giant dinosaur right in the front.
I loved it. I mean, I felt like I was inside of a dinosaur.
Yes.
Just with all the information.
And then they have the mammoth exhibit there.
Yes.
Where you can like walk over the bones. My mother, she actually worked there for quite a while. She worked in the gift shop. She worked there for about like 3 years. Sadly, she doesn't work there anymore because they live hours and hours away. Only 3 hours. It's not that far.
No, it feels like
but it does feel like forever. But yeah, so I would love going there and going out to the village. So the Mayborn is just an amazing place.
Thank you for reminding me about the part. The first time I came, I'm just exploring. I have no clue where I am. I just need to, take a look around. And then I find myself in this village.
Oh, wow.
And I thought it was the cutest thing.
I love it.
So the next time I come back.
The little school and the little church. Oh.
I sat in the desk as a teacher. And I took a photo and I sent it to my friend, who's a teacher. I was like, look, this is what it was like back in the day.
Yeah.
But no, so yeah, that's what I do best. I'm going to be honest with you. Is go places and become a child and just enjoy it too. I want to become more and more of a child as I grow as an artist.
I love that. Childlike wonder.
Very much.
Yeah. And is there anything else that you want to share with our listeners today?
Honestly, it's just very grateful that I'm here.
Yeah. Welcome to Waco.
I was thinking in my way here, I like to drive really early in the morning. Actually, as I was driving, the full moon was like
Oh, wow.
in front of me, and the clouds kept going
Mm-hmm.
past. And one of my dear friends, Cassie in Bowman, told me, you know how great it is that you have to go places because you're going to speak about your artwork
Yeah.
and what you're doing. And I thought, yes. Well, you know, if we think about the driving and no, it's not about that. It's about getting here and these moments to be in front of each other and you doing what you love. And I can tell. I can
Thank you.
I can feel it. I can feel it. So
I just love people and I love stories and I love hearing about it. So
and that's what I told my friends back in Bowman. They have a podcast, A to Z.
Shout out. We'll tag them.
Yes, please do, because they're pretty awesome. I think you guys will love to talk. You should be a guest one day, just to
that'd be so fun.
to see what it's like to be on the other side, right? Well, what I talked to them was, I'm here to. I have a story, and now paintings are somewhere so people can see them. But if it wasn't for you, maybe some people don't know and will never find out. But now you're a medium for us to invite more people
And know about Waco. No Waco.
So yes, and if it wasn't for you, things have to. We are community. Doesn't matter where you're from. We all community, and if we get to know each other and we understand what we are doing and why we're doing it, then we can support each other.
Yeah, and breaking down those barriers, both distance-wise, cultural-wise.
Yes,
everything.
If you can support others, then you know it's always a cycle that keeps going. But what I told them is, because of you, I get to share my story.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And I told them, because you have these walls, and I said that to them, and they're like, nobody has ever said this. I'm like, you guys pay bills. You guys pay electricity and utilities. Nobody talks about that.
That's true.
You know, the back the scene. We don't talk a lot about that because we are creatives and all.
We just do what we love, no matter what. Yeah,
appears. But it doesn't.
No, it does not.
But how great it is.
It is.
I hope people understand that creatives have the same bills coming every month.
That's true.
But we're doing it because we cannot not do it.
It's very true.
So
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And you've talked about this amazing community and these amazing connections you have. Is there anybody you want to shout out?
Well, I already said Eric Linares. He's part of the reason I'm here. I do want to say, I mentioned Greg Buscemi from Bowman, Texas. You can tag him. They are Studio Inc. They've been running since 1983.
Oh, wow.
Supporting the community in Bowman.
Before I was alive.
Oh.
I'm a baby.
You are. And also just anybody that knows me and I know, I promise you, impossible to name everyone that I really want to.
Yeah. Your mom, your dad, your grandma, your dog.
No, and family is for sure. Without them, I will not be here. But every other person that support the arts, that are buying, that believe in what we're doing, without them, we will not be here. And that means there's a lot of people up there that have been so supportive for years. So
yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on. You're absolutely lovely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much.
Again, I'm out of words. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I know I have more to say.
I always have more to say.
But no, I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for tuning into this week's podcast. This is your host, Debbie, signing off. Now that you know, go. Just go, Waco.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.